Good evening and welcome to Sports 9 Auburn. I'm Sam Humphrey.
And I'm Mary Lee Oliver. Tonight we've got baseball and their series against South Carolina over the weekend, and yes, Auburn basketball and their historic run past March.
March Madness is wrapping up, but the Auburn Tigers are still dancing as over the weekend they punched their ticket to the Final Four with big wins over North Carolina and Kentucky.
The Auburn Tigers have been to March Madness before, but this is their first taste of what it's like to be playing in April. Over the weekend, Auburn took down 2 Blue Bloods and 1 seed North Carolina, and Friday by 17, and then again against SEC rival Kentucky by 5 in overtime. With their run to Minneapolis, the Tigers took down the top 3 most winningest teams in college basketball history in Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina.
With that in mind, the Tigers are without one of their key players, as with just under 10 minutes left in the second half, Chuma Okeke drove to the basket when his knee buckled. It would later be announced that Okeke did suffer a torn ACL. Okeke did have surgery yesterday in Pensacola, Florida, performed by Dr. James Andrews.
So Auburn took the draw and will play the winner from the South region and the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia and Auburn are arguably 2 of the most different teams in the tournament, as Virginia plays a slow style of offense and likes to get set in the half court, while Auburn is a run-and-gun offense that likes to make the other team tired.
Auburn has outscored their opponents in fast break points in every game this tournament and has done a great job limiting their turnovers while making sure to put pressure on the ball and force them.
With that being said, how do you see these matchups going, Sam?
Well, Mary Lee, I think Auburn and Virginia couldn't be 2 of the more different teams. Virginia plays by the slowest pace in the NCAA on offense. Auburn likes to go up and down the court, forcing turnovers, shooting threes. They've made the most threes in the country and by a wide margin, with the second-place team only having 40 less threes per game. But I really do see Auburn winning this game.
I agree. I think the key to Auburn winning this game would be a quick tempo. Bruce Pearl's done a great job of subbing in the boys and keeping our bench warm. So I think that'll be the key to our game, and obviously making those threes. Coming up, we'll take a look at everything else happening on the Plains. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
As a mom and an Olympian, I know the importance of getting to the finish line quickly.
But quicker isn't always better when it comes to conversations about the dangers of underage drinking.
General Marshall is right. You don't need to get the entire point across in one dinner or one car ride.
Stick to those meaningful moments. A text or short conversation can go a long way.
And be sure to use resources like asklistenlearn.org.
They've got everything from conversation starters to facts about the dangers of underage drinking.
So start the conversation today about saying yes to a healthy lifestyle.
And no to underage drinking.
I believe this is a practical world and that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, in a spirit that is not afraid, and in a clean sport that develops these qualities.
I believe in obedience to the law because it protects the rights of all. I believe in human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom and because it is my home, and that I can best serve that country by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.
A Dog's Way Home is the story of the extraordinary lengths a dog will go to in order to get back to their family. Every year, millions of dogs and cats end up in shelters and rescue groups. We found our Bella at a shelter in Tennessee. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover they're all pure love. Adopt pure love and help a shelter pet find their way home at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. Auburn baseball welcomed in the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets Tuesday night for a quick Tuesday night matchup before the Tigers welcomed in Arkansas this weekend.
The Tigers took an early 3-0 lead thanks to 3 RBI singles from Will Holland, Kaysen Howell, and Matt Scheffler. But the Jackets didn't go down without a fight, as Georgia Tech had a 4-run fourth inning after putting one on the board in the third, totaling the score to 5-3 Tech. Pitcher Blake Shalacy took the mound to start the 5th inning and put the first 9 batters he faced away, but Tech was able to cap off the scoring in the game with 4 more runs, and they would go on the way to win by a total of 9-3.
Softball was at home over the weekend, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, and Eagle Eye was there to bring you the story from the series.
Tonight, in a top 25 matchup, the number 14-ranked Auburn Tigers hosted the number 18-ranked Georgia Bulldogs in an exciting game here at Jane B. Moore Field. In the top of the first inning, Georgia went up 4 runs, starting with a double by Alyssa DiCarlo that brought C.J. Landrum home. Auburn was quick to respond when Kendall Veach hit a 3-run home run that put the Tigers behind by only 1 point at the end of the first inning. From there, the Bulldogs went on to score 1 run in the 3rd inning, thanks to a home run by DiCarlo. By the end of the 5th, they were still up against the Tigers 7-4. In the 6th inning, Justice Perry hit a home run, followed by a double from Casey McCracken, which brought Taylon Snow home and put the Tigers only 1 run down at the end of the 6th. Neither team scored in the 7th inning, and the Tigers fell to the Bulldogs 7-6, losing their 8-game winning streak against Georgia, as well as their 18-game home winning streak. With that loss, the Tigers moved to 29-6, 5-2 in the SEC. The next game of the series will be held here at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. From Jane B. Moore Field, this is Delaney Barrow, Eagle Eye TV.
But the Tigers didn't only play one game. Let's see what happened in the next one.
Auburn softball faced the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. The Tigers lost the series but won Sunday's game with a final score of 9-5. And the losses didn't stop the crowd from showing support for their team. Lexi Hanley pitched for 6 innings. She had 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and only allowed 1 home run. At the top of the 7th, Ashley Swindle took over the mound for the Tigers. She pitched for 1 inning, but couldn't help the Tigers defeat the Bulldogs. Brittany Marissette hit a solo inside the park home run, and Marissette brought the Tigers 3-2 against the Bulldogs. Auburn's next stop will be in Knoxville, Tennessee to take on the Volunteers Saturday, April 6th. This is Kennedy Gooden reporting from Eagle Eye TV.
Auburn isn't winning championships in just basketball. When it comes to this time of year, the #1 ranked Auburn Equestrian team went into the conference championship this weekend. The Tigers took down Texas A&M by a score of 11-6 to clinch the program's 2nd ever conference championship. The win moved the Tigers to 15-0 on the season and now have their sights set on the national championship, looking to do what they did last year. Ashton Alexander and Caitlin Boyle were named to the SEC All-Championship team for their performances in flat and fences, respectively.
Coming up, we'll take a look at everything coming up on the Plains. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at everything going on in Auburn sports this week. The 13th ranked Auburn gymnastics team earned a spot in the postseason and will be the 4th seed in the Baton Rouge region with competition set to begin at 7 p.m. on Friday.
Auburn Track and Field gets to stay home during the weekend as they welcome in a flurry of teams for the Tiger Track Invitational, both Friday and Saturday.
Tennis takes on South Carolina on Friday with the men's serving at 3 p.m. and the women at 4.
Auburn baseball looks to come off their loss at home to Georgia Tech as they host the Arkansas Razorbacks for a 3-game series Thursday through Saturday, with first pitch Thursday set to be thrown at 6:30 p.m.
Softball will travel to Knoxville to take on the Tennessee Volunteers in a 3-game series starting Sunday and going through Monday with the first pitch Saturday to be thrown at 1 p.m.
Women's golf is set to travel to South Carolina to partake in the Clemson Invitational on Sunday, with the event lasting all day.
Auburn tennis is set to take on Florida in an in-conference matchup with both men's and women's beginning at noon and Sunday at Yarborough Tennis Center.
And lastly, the one you've all been waiting for. Auburn's men's basketball is currently en route to Minneapolis to take on Virginia in the Final Four with a trip to the national championship on the line. The game will take place Saturday and tip-off is slated for 5:10 Central Time.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at EETV_sports and follow Eagle Eye TV on Instagram. And don't forget to check out our website, eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm Mary Lee Oliver.
And I'm Sam Humphrey. Thank you for joining us in War Eagle.